What's going on, guys? We're live. Welcome to a brand new Poker Live podcast. My name's Joey, your one, aka Chicago Joey. Guys, we're joined today by someone who might not be that well known when it comes to the normal guests we have on the podcast in terms of being known in the online and live poker world, but he's somebody that my buddy Jonah introduced me to, and I found him super interesting. He does a lot of things I feel like that people will find very interesting. And he also plays poker too. So we kind of tie in some poker, but he's also a fitness entrepreneur. I guess fitness entrepreneur, is that the best way to describe you, Mike? What's the best description you think?
That's accurate. I'm definitely not on here. Like, I've seen all the guests you've had on here, and I'm not on here for my poker. I'm like a weak type bad reg at best, like on a good day. I'm a strength coach. I put out content on the internet. I call myself a writer because I like writing. I have a blog that's primarily fitness stuff, do YouTube videos, and then run an online coaching program.
Cool. Yeah, I guess so my buddy Jonah, shout out to my buddy Jonah, by the way. He's the fucking coolest kid ever. Lives in Malta. Super passionate, man. He's just like, I introduced him to Gary Vaynerchuk. And so he's like, Gary Vaynerchuk, you personal train him for a couple years, right?
Yeah, literally. So up until 2 weeks ago, that was the end of our 2-year deal. I was training him in the gym every single day for 2 years.
Every
single day, 7 days a week.
Fucking Christ, man.
Maybe like 5 or 8 off days over 2 years, over holidays kind of thing. But yeah, every day.
Wow. So I guess a lot of people that probably, I do talk about him occasionally on the podcast over time for regular listeners, but I got Gary Vaynerchuk. Creates some of the best motivating, informational, like his strategies, his intelligence for the content he puts out there. He's an entrepreneur. He's a marketer. He's, you know a lot about him. I guess, how would you describe him to people that don't know who he is?
I think he would describe himself as a businessman. He runs a 600-person digital marketing agency in New York City. But yes, like motivator is how so many people know him because of the content he puts out on social media.
Right. That's kind of how I know him because, I've listened to pretty much all of his Ask Gary Vee shows. I've taken away so much stuff that I might actually do and stuff I've had in my mind that have born new ideas in terms of, even when it comes to the podcast or when it comes to YouTube in general. So he's the fucking man, dude. So, all right. So I'll give a brief run about you. I gotta tell people, check out the podcast on iTunes. If you don't already subscribe on there, watch on there. If you don't want to use YouTube, Poker Live podcast. The schedule is Wednesday. We're having on Bill Perkins, who is one of the, I think he's an actual billionaire. So he might be the second unofficial billionaire we've had on the podcast. He's going to be on Wednesday. Friday, Charlie Carroll, tournament player, cash game player from England, who seems interesting. And I've known him for a while. I'm pretty sure that he has a lot of fun with his spare time. So Sam Abernathy next Monday. And you guys know Sam. She is debatably one of the coolest women in poker. And then Liv Bory next Friday. And Liv is one of the most captivating women I've ever met in the entire poker world. So it's gonna be a fun schedule. So, all right, Mike, let's get into this, man. So you have some poker experience, man. You've been playing poker for quite a long time, right?
Yeah. So I started cliche stuff, right? Like 7th grade, 1999 rounders, playing with my buddies, plastic chips, had no idea what we were doing. 2003 moneymaker, poker boom. I was in 10th grade at the time. And that was when things got like, quote unquote, somewhat serious. Like stole dad's credit card, made a $50 deposit on Ultimate Bet, and like played heads up sit and goes and ran it up and then dumped it all. And then like a different friend took his dad's credit card, like that kind of thing. So I would call myself a losing recreational player from like when I started until probably 2007, 2008, 2009 range. Got on 2+2, like started realizing that you can actually make money at this if you're not a complete idiot and like work hard and patient, etc. And from 2009 to 2011, I used poker to fund what eventually became the opportunity to quit my accounting job that I absolutely hated. So I played poker in college. My 3rd, 4th, 5th year, started making money. After college, I was working this big box accounting firm as an auditor and hated it and had like a little bit of student loans to pay off, and knew that I needed to be solvent enough to like have enough runway if I wanted to quit and try something else. And so I was waking up at 4:30 before work and grinding for like 3-4 hours, 4, 5, 6 days a week, like just playing on the weekends, super into it. And that was when Black Friday hit, actually. So that was like '09 to 11, I made enough money to pay off my debt, save some money, coupled with the accounting stuff, to quit the job that I hated and get into fitness stuff.
Very cool. So you were a fun player, a bad player, technically. A fun player loses money for a couple of years there. And then, so during that time for yourself, you got a full-time job. So you used 2+2 and what were the resources you used to get better during that period of time?
I'm trying to, and by the way, like, I don't know what the current lingo and terminology, I'm like 4 years behind on like real poker stuff. So some of you guys are going to get a kick out of me sounding like an idiot on here.
No, believe me, a lot of the guys that are watching the podcast, they're fun players too. They're trying, believe me, they're not winning money. We got a lot of losing players around here that are in the audience, Mike. So don't worry about that.
There are a couple things. One of the very important ones was my like junior and senior year of college. A couple of my good friends were winning a lot of money. And so it became real to me. Like, when it's just other people on the internet who you don't know, it's not as real as when your roommate is making like whatever, like a nice win rate 8 tabling at 2-4 NL on stars, and he's grinding like 6 hours every single day. I'm like, wow, like, you're really making money on here. Another friend of mine, John Hopman, limit player, like, he's still playing. He like did very well in a bunch of tournaments, and he was making real money. So being around those guys and living in the same apartment building as those guys, and being able to, not only, it wasn't so much talk strategy as just realize like, hey, this is doable. Like, you can win money at this game if you take it more seriously, if you don't play at 2 a.m. on Saturday night when you're drunk and like eating pizza and just dump off buy-ins, taking shots. If you like actually treat this like a job and like something that could change your life, good things can happen.
Yeah. So when around 09-11, what games were you playing? So you were playing on stars, right?
No, I was playing on like primarily Absolute Poker.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So like Black Friday was real Black Friday for me.
Yeah, that was actually, I mean, Black Friday hit for me. I was living in San Diego. I was playing on stars, and I at least got my money. So, but Absolute Poker, you didn't get any fucking money. They took it all.
They took it all, which, like, you know, you make a decision. Like super user scandal, there was all the bullshit.
Right. There was certainly stuff from that people knew going into it, that if you play on this site.
Yeah. It's a little bit softer. There's some risks, and, you know, they got us in the end.
So did you end up making enough money to pay off your bill? Did you quit your job before that happened, or what was the process like for that?
So the process was yes, I had like ample savings in April 2011. I was a year into my job, and Black Friday hit, and lost what was actually like 40% of my net worth on AP. But then worked the accounting job for another year, and went from whatever it was, like 15 months to 22 months of runway, to the point where I was comfortable enough to take a shot at something non-corporate world related, like my own thing. And yeah, so that's when I did that, which was July of 2012. I quit my job.
So July of 2012, you quit your job, and then you moved to New York City, or where were you living at during that period of time?
So I was in Chicago. I was in Minneapolis when I quit my job. One of my good friends had an open room in Chicago near Wrigley, like we were just talking about.
Right, we were just talking about, yeah.
And so I crashed there for super cheap, and was writing and like getting blog posts formulated in my mind. I during that period of quitting my job until moving to Chicago, in those few months in 2012, I saw what people could do in the online fitness space. I'd always been like, I was obsessed through college with learning about nutrition, with my own physique, with like training, nutrition, getting stronger, getting better. And it's just what I really enjoyed doing. And yeah, so in that gap, I saw John Romanello, I saw JC Dean, I saw these guys who put content out, which was primarily in blog form at that time, and ran these online coaching programs. And like, they sold information products, and some of them did affiliate marketing stuff. And like, there are many revenue sources if you're good enough. And I was like, I know this, like, I know all my stuff. I want to do this. And so I started writing. So I was living in Chicago, started writing, launched the blog in April of 2013. And like 1 month after, there was a post on Facebook from John Romanello, who's a fitness entrepreneur, also New York Times bestselling author, like pretty big deal in the fitness community. And he wanted an intern for his book launch. Like you wanted an unpaid intern who lived in New York City, and I was in Chicago at the time, to basically grind for free and help him with the book launch. And those were the requirements, like willing to work for free and like work your way up. You have to be local. You have to be in the city. You have to be under 25 years old. I was like 25 at the time. You have to like dogs. Those were the requirements. And so I applied. I hit him up. I hit his assistant up. I was leaving comments on there. I got an interview. I remember very vividly. It was like early May 2013. I got an email from his assistant saying, okay, be at the Starbucks on this street in like some neighborhood in Manhattan. I was supposed to know what that meant. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. And it was 2 p.m. on a Monday or a Tuesday. I was like, all right, I'm there. So I booked a one-way ticket, threw a bunch of crap in my backpack, and like flew out to the city, interviewed, got it, and then interned for him for what ended up being like a year. After the first couple months, he brought me on, was paying me a nice hourly, like enough to kind of be able to support myself while I was growing my own online business. And yeah, to this day, he's like a really good friend. But that is how I got to New York.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, like a lot of pieces fell into place.
That is definitely pretty cool. So people in the chat are saying you look like Timex Mike McDonald. Obviously, guys, he does look exactly.
I've heard that.
He does look very similar to Mike McDonald. It's borderline. I saw it more in the photo, but when I've talked with Mike a lot, so you guys you have different hair. So I just like I can kind of see it, but at the same time, I don't see it at all. I see like you as but in the picture you look just like him, and I was like, man, he does look like Timex. It's kind of weird.
That's funny. Yeah, I've definitely heard that from a few people.
It's interesting. I mean, I guess most people, a majority of people, 99% of people, I feel like wouldn't take that risk. They wouldn't quit their job, especially like, I think you're going to equate it to poker as well, because I'm sure there's people now that are at a job that are maybe doing well at poker, but they're very scared or very unsure to take that plunge and to get rid of that unhappy job that they have of guaranteed salary to pursue something they might actually love or feel like they could do really well at. And I guess for you at that, like, what do you think? What do you think? Like you were, I mean, to have those qualities, it seems like it's such a rare thing. Like, what do you think was it that just said, fuck this, like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to quit. I'm just going to see what happens.
It was purely, I hated this job. I disdained authority so much. I severely disliked almost every day of those 2 years, to the point that I knew I would regret if I didn't quit and try something else, like literally try anything else. It wasn't as much a strong desire for what I enjoy doing now, which is like helping people and getting those, like, you changed my life emails and like the fitness side of it. It wasn't a pull towards that. It was me needing to get away from being in this cubicle, auditing these financial statements, being around these people who like operated in this system where, like, corporate structure in general, performance is correlated with effort, but not directly, right? Like if you work 50% harder than someone, you might get like a 5 or 6 or 7% bigger raise, at least in the situations I'm familiar with. Whereas if you're on your own, like you own all of that. You own like the upside in the revenue stream. If you work harder, you own like more reach, more impact, like I said, help more people. And so I hated it so much and had a desire for more control. I also, 22 months of, I mapped out, here's my burn rate. Like it was a very low cost idea, put content out, try to grow a following. There just weren't a ton of downsides. The downsides were I went back with my tail between my legs and I missed like a year of income.
You know, I find this interesting because I was just talking with my friend Cicely, who I've had on a couple of video blogs, and she lives in LA, and she does, she's like an aspiring model, of course, actress. Everyone is in LA if you meet people from LA. And she's kind of like in this spot where she has this, you know, job she does a couple nights a week, and it's like a singing, I don't know, it's some sort of fucking LA type of job. Not one of those jobs, guys, calm down. But, and she's like, how can I make money? Like, how can I start making money for myself to get out of this job and really start pursuing those things? And I'm like, well, you know what? Actually, the guy I'm having on the podcast today literally quit his job. He had no, like, he just quit. Then he went and moved to New York and had no, like, so
you want to know?
I'll ask him what he did. Like that was basically what I told her today. I'm like, I'll maybe he's got a tip for you, and I'll ask him what he thinks.
It's not how I made money. It's how I aggressively stopped spending money. It's how I lived on a couch in Harlem and didn't pay rent with a buddy there. And prior to that, I was living in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, in this rundown apartment complex with 3 roommates. And like, we had a guy sleeping out in the living room, like chopping rent, every groceries from Costco. My first year in New York City, like, I was walking up whatever it was, 15 blocks north, and carrying my Costco groceries back. Like, I wasn't going out to fancy dinners. I wasn't doing like clubs or partying or any of that. It was literally just, I'm grinding on chicken and sweet potatoes. And like, because so yes, that's the answer, is cutting spending aggressively. And being, it really is like, if you're okay making that lifestyle change, like if she, or if anyone listening can relate it to their situation, wants that thing, wants the upside more than the parties and the dinners and like the more convenient lifestyle in that 1, 2, 3 years along the way. But yeah, that's how I did it.
I like that answer a lot. I mean, it's funny because you look at, I look at online poker for myself, and even I don't play much live poker, but I think live poker is similar, where you're your own business, you're your own entrepreneur. However hard you want to work, that's how well you're going to do. And as you mentioned before, with corporate structure, you might work 55% harder than someone else, but you're only going to see potentially 4% more money. Whereas if you work 55% harder than somebody in poker or somebody in business, you're going to see maybe even more than that in terms of results than someone who's not working that hard. Like, that's just how it goes. I
think the return is, in the long run, is more than linear. I think like when you're really outworking people, I think there's like it's just a theory. I like using the hockey stick curve in like anything. So I just want to believe that if I'm working harder, then I'm getting even more return on it. But yeah, it's definitely different than what a corporate world or the system, the more well-traveled path.
Okay. So you're in New York, you're in there for 1 year working for John. His name's John, right?
Yep.
Okay. So work for John. Then what happens then? How do you move from that next step to where you end up, working with Gary as a trainer, and then you end up, kind of going down that road and sort of more on your own, I guess, then.
Yeah. You're great at podcasting, by the way. I'm loving this. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I mean, well, so let me just tell you. So I've been doing poker podcasts for maybe a little over 2 years now, and I like people, they do pretty well, and everyone's like, you do a lot of podcasts. So I'm like, I really want to start having people on outside of poker, because I feel like I could still talk, like I could get these guys' stories. The stories are fucking sick. Like what you're saying right now is fucking awesome. So I was like, I really want to have more people on outside of poker, but at the same time, I want to start with people that have ties, but that are doing their own like really cool things, that have cool stories. So that's like a big reason why you're like kind of my first person I ever had on that really wasn't just a poker player. So I say I got to thank you for coming on. So it's
I'm pumped. I'm loving it.
It's fun. It's fun to talk about these things, man. I'm pretty excited about it. So go ahead. So how did that happen then?
So John, who I was interning for, he got married and moved to Los Angeles, and the offer was on the table, like, come with. This was maybe half a year in, because I worked remote from New York when he was in LA for a little while. And I weighed the pros and cons in my mind. I was really liking New York. My own business was starting to get off the ground. I had some online coaching clients. I had a side job training clients in the gym on the Upper East Side of New York for 25 or 30 hours a week there for more money and experience and like everything that went along with that. John was Gary's previous personal trainer, which has its own story, like how he ended up getting that, because he leveraged his social media following. When Gary posted on Facebook, hey, I'm looking for a tough guy trainer in New York who knows anyone. And all these trainers were commenting on it. This was probably 2011. Pick me kind of thing. And John Roman posts on his Facebook to all his fans and says, I need all you guys to go over to this post, and linked it. It's like, say Roman's the best in the city. And so all these dozens, hundreds, I don't know how many comments on that post were like, pick Roman, like he's the best. I've trained with John, etc. So Gary picked John. When John moved to Los Angeles, Gary needed a new trainer. I was Roman's right-hand man essentially at the time. And I woke up December 2013 to a text from Roman that was like, I have good news for you. You just became Gary Vaynerchuk's personal trainer. Congrats. And like, that was that. I went and met him for our first session right after New Year's.
It's fucking crazy, man. You said Michael Humphrey was one of your first poker friends, right?
Michael Humphrey.
What's that his name? What was the guy's name that you said?
John Hopman.
Oh, John Hopman, my bad. I saw a game in the chat. Mike Humphrey. I was like, wait, is that the guy I said earlier? Because I think I saw him on Twitter too, and he commented. So no, he said tournament player. All right. My bad, Mike. My bad, dog. My bad, kid in the chat, motherfucker. All right. So you end up getting this personal training job for somebody who's, you know, very, very successful at what he does. I mean, like, I guess in that moment in time, like, what are you thinking? Are you thinking this is like my opportunity to really gain this knowledge to take my business to the next level and put myself in a position to basically set myself for life? I mean, it's kind of like you can set yourself up for life through this business because fitness is going to last forever. People are going to want to be in shape for the rest of our lives, I feel like.
I was thinking, I don't want to let John down. I want to like really bring it for Gary and like live up to this expectation that he sold me on and get him in amazing shape and really help him. That was my only focus there at the time. Because as the story goes, the original run with Gary failed, meaning I worked him out January, February, some of March. He canceled half the sessions. We weren't in this like everyday groove. We were going to do 2 to 3 sessions a week. It ended up being maybe once a week max. Standard, really busy stuff, right? Like slept in, don't feel so good, sore throat, like stuff that 80-90% of us can relate to when it comes to fitness. He just didn't want to be doing it. Ended up tearing his meniscus playing basketball randomly. So I get a text from him, or maybe his assistant told me. It's like, that sucks. And we weren't working out. I was texting him, hey, are you rehabbing? Are you rehabbing? He wasn't. And then in June of 2014, he texted me and was like, hey, Mike, I got an idea. It's super rogue. Let me know when you have time to jump on the phone. And I see this from him, and I'm like, right now, let's talk. And so we jump on, and he's like, I think I hacked it. I think I know what I need. I wanted to know if you know anyone who would be a good fit for this. I want a CEO of my body. I want someone to follow me everywhere I go. I want someone to bring me lunch every single day in the office. I want someone to work me out every single morning. I want someone on all my business trips. Dude travels 100 days out of the year at least. I want someone going to London with me when I'm over there. I want someone on my family vacations. Like, I want a CEO of my body. Do you know anyone? I was like, yeah, right here. Like, when can I start, kind of thing. And at that time, I had actually stopped training in the gym because my online business had grown to the point where I was doing well enough that my passion in writing and my energy and where I saw the upside from a business point of view was in primarily online. I still had a few in-person clients, but the bulk of my work was online. But I literally at that point just saw it as 2 years, because he said that. He's like, it would be a 2-year commitment. I saw it as 2 years with this guy who has a brand that's exploding, tons of exposure, learned so much from him. And I was, I didn't have a girlfriend at the time. I was just like, my sole focus at the time was to grow my business. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so we went and got breakfast and worked out some of the details. And a couple weeks later, July 2014, that's when we started working out every single day.
So you went and traveled with him everywhere he went?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. You spent 2 years with him, traveling everywhere with the family trips and all that. So. Did you have a full-time place at the time? Like, how does that work? So you just stay with him, or you get a place for you everywhere he goes, or what?
Yeah, he got me a hotel, and whenever we were on the road, I mean, I booked it, and but yes, he paid for all that. So I was staying when he was in LA. I was staying whatever was close and made sense from a cost point of view. Like, hey, be smart. This is expensive enough, but if I knew a friend in the city, I would sleep with a friend on his couch or whatever. But yeah.
Wow. 2 years with this man's fucking crazy, dude. I want a CEO of my body, but listen, anyone wants to do intern, I'm happily will take someone who wants to bring me some food while I'm working on my computer.
Serious question though. Do you need that? Like, do you struggle to get in the gym and get workouts? Like,
definitely not. No, I love playing ball. I love working out. I like to be in the gym 5-6 days a week, either playing ball or working out. So the diet thing though, the diet thing is something that I've tried to be getting better at over time because I'm so used to just being on my computer playing poker for these really long sessions, and 8 hours I'm playing straight. I've never been used to going to eat. It's just something I've never really had a lot of diet. My diet's never been on track. Before it was a lot of fast food. Now I don't eat any fast food these past couple of years. Now my sort of thing is I buy chicken from Whole Foods that's already made. I put it in my fridge, and then I'll put it in the oven, heat it up. I'll eat it with rice. I'll eat it with an avocado, and then I'll eat it with a vegetable. And that's sort of what I try to do for my meals.
You
And
don't
then
you don't need me at all. You're killing it.
yeah, it's going. I'm just trying to eat more, man. I don't know. It's like
I saw in one of your videos, it was like the 50K hands in a day or 20K hands in a day. I don't remember.
yeah, but it was like 50,000 hands in a day. Yeah, the junk food,
The
right?
you had in the background it was like jars of peanuts and Doritos. So you've come a long way since then, clearly.
Man, yeah. You know what's crazy is that throughout my entire poker career, I was like, I would brag about like eating McDonald's all the time. Like, man, I fucking love Mac. Like, I was living in Australia. I used to remember, there's a McDonald's on the corner. I used to love it just because the McDonald's on the corner in downtown Sydney. Like, that's the most thing I loved about Sydney at the time was this McDonald's. And I came back here to the States and I'm just like, man, like what the, like why, I think I was one of the podcasts I might've done with this guy LaForte, who I call the fittest man in poker. And after that, I'm just like, all right, I got to change this diet. I got to start figuring out, but it's so hard. Like it's so hard to like start learning this whole new language sort of thing. Right. And I know this is something we talk about a lot with the guys who are actually in shape on a podcast, but like just trying to venture into a better diet is, I think, the biggest challenge for a lot of people.
So like just a surplus of information and conflicting information.
Yeah. That's kind of what I found as I've been doing a lot of research and been doing a lot of reading, is that each website sort of has something different. There's so many different diets. There's so much different stuff. I'm just like, fuck, man. I gave up like 2 or 3 times and I kind of went back to a very like, microwave dinner, sort of healthy-ish sort of dinner type thing. But it's something that it's taken me a while. But even now, I just sort of eat the same thing: chicken, avocado, rice, vegetable. That's sort of it.
I'm a big fan of common sense. Like, eat some fruits and vegetables, get some lean proteins. Like, if you're trying to lose fat, it probably makes sense to at least somewhat monitor your calories and have them in a proper place for that. If you're really trying to build muscle, a lot of like the hard gainer ectomorph type guys who struggle to build muscle, like they should probably also track their calories and like try to get the majority of your foods from healthy food, the majority of what you're eating from traditionally healthy foods. But like to go over the top with any kind of very restrictive and very specific diet, something that's very hard to adhere to without a real reason to do that. Like if you just want to look, feel better, be stronger, like not have lower back pain, get more girls, like whatever.
Right.
I just don't think it makes sense to try to do something that's very difficult to sustain.
Miguel in chat says, it sounds like a late night fitness commercial. Do you struggle with your diet? Can't find any time in the gym? P90X is for you. You know what, Miguel? I actually tried the Ab Ripper X, that sick commercial. It's like a 15-minute ab workout. That thing's hard, man. That's gotta work. I've never stuck with that one because it's like insanely challenging, and I'd rather just do like box jumps and work on other stuff with abs, kind of thing like that at the gym. But
tell Miguel there's no 4 easy payments of $29.99. We're not going to hard sell them at the end.
Yeah, man, listen, this isn't a fucking infomercial, Miguel. You've come in the chat before. You've commented enough times. Come on, get your head on straight, bro. What are you talking about here, man? I got to disregard that guy. So you spend 2 years with him. Is your online business during that time? What's happening with it? Are you building it? Are you working at it? Or is it just kind of sitting dormant there for a while?
This is another. So I talked before about being around John and my roommate Brett, guys who were winning at poker, and how that elevated my game. Like, I didn't realize that at the time. I realized that in hindsight after spending this time with Gary, meaning like being around someone who, and for more context on this human, this guy works from 6 a.m. to midnight every single day of the week. Like, no joke. His schedule has blocked out 15 minutes, half hour, like go, 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 go. And to be around that, even if I'm doing 50% of, or even less of that effort, like it just brought me up to another level. So I was putting out more content. I was getting better. I was having experiences from him that I could talk about and make content out of. My business grew like, I don't 5 or 6x during our time together.
It feels like, correct me if I'm wrong, because this is kind of speculating, I would imagine that in the fitness industry, so you mentioned online training. So you're not even with the person when you're doing these online training sessions?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
There is that. Like, I know a lot of women and men who do yoga, like one-on-one online sessions where they're literally Skyping with someone.
Really?
So you can set it up in that way. But no, the upside of online now this is an infomercial. The upside of online coaching, super quick, is it's not for complete beginners. It's not for someone who may be at risk of hurting themselves in the gym. It's better suited for someone who has a little bit of experience, wants a degree of accountability, wants someone to do their training programming for them. So like outsource it, not have to think about it, not get in the bad habit of program hopping, and really paying for access, like to go back and forth emailing every day.
Right. I mean, like I personally would like, so I feel like I mean, Labix spoke in the chat says, I never knew online training happened. I really didn't know that existed either. I didn't know like you could have someone
until 2012. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty, like, I feel like that'd be super valuable for so many people, because so many people I feel like are a little bit maybe even intimidated by working with some trainers at the gym in a one-on-one setting, or like working out with that trainer at the gym. They just feel uncomfortable. And something like that, they might really like and excel and be able to take advantage of.
I think that having instruction, explicit instruction from someone you respect, or at least like respect their knowledge of the subject, I think that helps a lot in adhering and executing the plan. And I have actually found that recently. Like if I do my own programming, on the third week, I might cut out some like direct hamstring work at the end of a workout because I'm like, I wrote that in. That was a little ambitious. Like I probably don't need to do that. But if I'm paying my coach, who I have, and like he gives me a program and there's this work at the end, I'm not going to skip it. It's like it's there for a reason and I'm going to do it. It eliminates that some of that second guessing.
Yeah, I think you mentioned respect. I feel like that's something that, you know, from doing the podcast, from having people on the podcast that know me from poker or know me from having success with poker, having success with the podcast, they have a certain level of respect. And I've noticed that certain people, the way people look at you and talk to you is so much different when they have respect for you. Mm-hmm. And if someone doesn't know anything about you and doesn't have respect for you, like your just interactions in general are so different. It's kind of amazing. Just really focusing and trying to be more aware of this dynamic. And I've noticed myself when I talk with some people who are giving me advice on something, like if I just don't respect their opinion, I'm not going to really put much stock into it. Whereas if someone's giving me advice and they're like, I know they fucking crushed it with what they're doing, like I'm 100% like on, like it's happened yesterday with an idea, like I'm 100% on top of things. And like it's just, I didn't ever really realize this until maybe a year ago, just this whole entire dynamic of respect and how much you listen or don't listen to a person when they talk to you.
And you've probably, like over that time period, gotten more feedback about things. And like, if someone's like, hey, you should change this and this about what you're doing, but they don't have credentials to be saying that, versus someone who, like if Joe Rogan's like, hey man, you should try this with your podcast. It's like, oh, okay, maybe I'll try that with my podcast.
100%. But yeah, I mean, I get a lot of things from people like, you want to try this, try that. I'm like, I always take the ideas with I take them, but whether I'm going to think about potentially changing anything or implementing them is a different story. I mean, obviously you probably get a lot of feedback from people too, right? Because if you have, you got your site, you're doing the YouTube video stuff and you're doing online training, you probably get feedback from people giving you all sorts of ideas and stuff. And
to clarify, like there is listening to the guys and girls who are consuming your content and like who are in your community, and taking that feedback's important. Yeah, I do. I get a lot of emails. I get a lot of like, you should do this. And there's so much controversy in fitness, right? Like,
yeah, I've heard
like just a lot of like, what's the word? Neck bearding, like a lot of like majoring in the minors, a lot of having very heated arguments over something that might make up 0.01% of progress, when it's like, hey guys, if we just do these 7 things, like if we sleep and don't stress and eat vitamins and minerals and like strength train at least a couple days a week, and we're consistent at it over time, things are going to be okay. Versus like, should you have 27 or 38 grams of carbs after a workout? It's like, come on, who cares?
So I guess from a business perspective for yourself, it seems like once you hit a certain level and you're doing courses and training, it seems like to make a high 5-figure, low figure income is something that's pretty easily attainable. But how hard is it if your goal, I mean, I think people's goals are different. Some people are going to want to make a lot of money, but also help people, but they just like money. They're going to want to make a lot of money. Sure. And how hard do you think it is to get past that, like that borderline small six-figure part in that space from kind of where you're at right now, or if you're that, how does that sort of work? Because that's sort of I'm trying to better understand.
How hard is it to make six figures? And
yeah, like what, like so where are people making money? Like where are you making money at in this space when you're doing this stuff?
So I personally have one rep. Like Gary was my one revenue stream, and then my online coaching program. The way most people in the online fitness industry run things are, you make money through coaching, which is a service, or group coaching, information product sales, which can range from like $3 up to, bro, I've seen like $200 and $250 ebooks of workouts from guys and girls, which is kind of another story. But selling a fixed information product, like here's my workout, 12-week, 16-week plan, follow this. Starting a supplement company or using affiliate links for supplements. Affiliate links being, if I give you a discount code and you use my link to buy some protein powder, I get some percentage of that sale.
Good old affiliate links. I try to stay away from being an affiliate for anything these days.
Yeah, it just, I also do. I'm not against it. I'm against it for myself because I value my brand, and like back to the respect thing, I would way rather not even give away the perception of scummy or dishonest. I think that in the long run, it matters so much, reputation and just like doing the right thing over time. How else do people make money? There's in-person stuff, obviously, training in person, seminars, meetups. So you build a huge community online and then travel around and speak and like charge for your speaking, or have a meetup. And like I've seen guys charge $100, $200 to come to their meetup where they give a little talk and like hang out with people and give FaceTime.
It's like that Tony Robbins thing that was on Netflix. That thing costs $5,000 a person.
$5,000. Yeah.
I was like, mother five. So I looked up online. I'm like, I want to go to this. I looked it up. I'm like, I mean, I would still consider going now, but like $5,000. I mean, I'm gonna get think about, you're paying $5,000 for that course. You're gonna make yourself learn something there, man.
This is an important point, and it relates back to anything. The sunk cost fallacy. Like, just because they paid $5,000, like that's gone. That shouldn't matter, but it does matter. It matters to us psychologically. Like, we don't recognize costs as sunk costs. Like when I pay my coach Jordan $300 for the accountability and the training program, because I'm paying him, I'm working harder.
Right.
And I think that is probably why a lot of, and Tony like has tons of good ideas and good stuff and really helps. Like, I'm sure he does amazing things. But I think a piece of it is, if I show up to Tony Robbins thing and I pay $5,000, I'm going to fucking use what he tells me, and I'm going to implement, and I'm going to work hard because I don't want to waste the $5,000 I just spent.
So I guess, what's your approach with things now? So you mentioned all the different ideas potentially someone who's in the space could make. What do you like to focus on yourself that you enjoy the most?
So what I enjoy the most is writing. I should write a book, but I'm just a perfectionist, and
I know what you mean.
Yeah, like if I want to write it, I want it to be like original and the best and amazing and this like life-changing thing, when that's probably not going to be the case, but I still should. I want to create things, because coaching, one-on-one coaching, which is essentially my time, is only scalable so far, or it's not scalable because it's my time. Creating something where when someone buys it requires none of my time, automatic transaction. They buy a pre-made workout plan for fat loss that like is good for intermediate men, and they pay $25 and then they get that information, they get those videos. I should create something like that if I want to continue to grow my business. But I want to make the stuff that works and that helps people. And I think that's like good enough programming and ideas combined with some community aspect. Whether that's a Facebook group, whether that's like building a back end of a website that like allows people support and accountability both from me and each other, and from anyone who I would like decide to hire down the road.
Mike, you might like my idea that I just came up with a couple days ago.
Let's go.
You like described it kind of there. I was listening to a guy, Rami, the guy, I'll Teach You to Be Rich guy. He had something in New York in October. It's some sort of, he's speaking at something, I think it's like 1K, and my friend said today, do you want to come to it? And I was like, kind of, yeah, I think I'd like to go to that, because he's just like, everything I've listened to him, he just gives like the best advice about this stuff. And so he was talking about something the other day about like, he's on like the James Altucher podcast, and he asked him like, what are you the best at if you're in this situation? Like, figure out what you're best at, and then figure out a way to make that into something.
Mm-hmm.
And he then talked about having a higher price point. And I've always been thinking about doing something where that sort of like combines poker. Actually, I haven't talked about this unofficially on a podcast yet, by the way. I did post about it in the Facebook group, and I've talked with a bunch of people about it. It combines poker with like poker and life. So people that want to get better at poker, people that want to get better at life, they want to get better at approaching poker, the mindset, like just anything related to poker that people struggle with. They'll help you out. I'll help you out with that, whether it's with life stuff, with women, a combination of things, but it combines it into a community of people. So ideally, I'd like to cap it out at 20 to 30 because I want to work one-on-one with a lot of the guys in the group.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so the idea is that everyone is contributing to conversation in the group about different topics. Mm-hmm. People are getting to know each other in the group. People are motivating each other. They're holding each other accountable. I was going to be making videos that are for the group specifically about just different topics, about answering questions that they have, pretty much all that type of stuff. So combine video content, combine a lot of written stuff, because I like to write too. I don't write that much because I think I just do better on video than writing, to be honest. And it's a lot easier to just talk and not do anything. It's people instead say it's not necessarily life coach. It's more of it's more poker. It's still poker, but it combines elements. Like I'm trying to get better at both. And that's sort of what I want to do. And also build up a group of people who can work together. And it kind of sounds like ideally something that you're interested in doing too. And it's a monthly membership sort of thing. That's what I'm going with. And I already have 10 people signed up now that
nice.
I've talked about the idea briefly, but this sounds like something that people probably do in the workout space, I believe, as well.
Absolutely. I'm into it. I like the idea too. And the thing is, what it kind of comes down to is how much overlap over those goals there are in your community. Meaning, like, how many guys want to get better at poker and get better with girls, and like whatever the things are that you can help them with. Mm-hmm. Then stacking those makes a ton of sense. And
it was kind of like whatever they have specifically. Some people might not care about the other ones. Some people might. So whatever people want to get help with, that's sort of how I looked at it.
Yeah. And back to like, they're buying your time, they're buying interaction with you, they're buying like your effort. And so the more you put into it, the better experience they're going to have. I love it.
Is there something like that you can, is that kind of what you ideally would like to do, something similar in terms of building a community, but you probably don't want to work as much one-on-one with people. So you want to have a lot more of an automated sort of thing set up for yourself.
And not even odd. So what I wouldn't want to do is I wouldn't want to spend like hours going through posts and like being on my phone and being like this and replying, just because I do enough of that. I get enough
long answers and shit. Yeah. Especially.
Yeah. I'd prefer to go lower price point if I went the inner circle route. Hire and train someone who I think is good. I would get in there less frequently. Like make it absolutely clear from the beginning, hey, this is how this is set up. Like, I'm not going to be in there all day, every day responding to stuff, but I would do a Q&A video however often and get all your questions answered. And whoever this person would be can help with the community. But the combination of, from a user point of view, I'm paying for this, so I care about it, and so I'm going to work hard at it, with the community support of like people who are going through the same thing as me and getting the information they need about their specific situation from you. That's really valuable. Like, that's something that can help elevate whatever game they want to elevate.
Right. Let's see. My boy Digital Fox in the chat. What's he say? Ask him his thoughts on Brain.fm, made to help people stay focused online. I've never heard that before.
I'm not familiar, but I would love to stay more focused online.
Yeah. So you mentioned you still play some poker now. So I think someone actually put on Twitter the other day, I think Zeke Poker on Twitter said there was some outbursts or something you had at the Borgata or something. I don't know. Something happened. You get like out of line. What happened, man?
What happened at the Borgata?
I don't know. He said, ask Mike about some outbursts or something like that. I don't know what he's talking about.
I was at the Borgata for my birthday on April 8th, for my 29th birthday, but there were no outbursts. We were drunk, but there was, so in Vegas in January, I was all in on Snapchat. I still snap a lot, but I was snapping like 50, 60, 70 times a day and like going hard. And I sat down
60, 70 times a day? For fuck's sakes, bro. That's so much.
I was just blasting my story. I was loving it and like replying to because I could keep up with every single snap at that point. So I was replying to everyone. I looked like Pokemon Go before it existed. I was just in my phone. But I sat down at whatever, 2-5, like playing like 10 or 11 handed or something absurd, and just started snapping, and I got, slapped on the wrist. Is your phone out? Or are you videoing this? I was like, well, I'm Snapchatting because I'm super into Snapchat, and they made me stop. That might be it. But yeah, I play, no, I'm a recreational weekend live player 6 times a year right now.
What did this guy, Zeke Poker, said on Twitter? Ask Mike about his blow up at Borgata Poker playing cash Wednesday night. Not sure what it was about. It was loud. This guy tripping? Was he trying? Zeke, you're tripping, bro. What are you talking about, Zeke? Come on, man.
I don't know. Wednesday night?
You instantly replied to it when I said you're going to be on the podcast. So I'm just confused here. I don't know. So I guess when it comes to poker now, what's your approach? You just go play to have fun? You trying to make money? Do you like? All right,
I'm trying to win. I'm trying to play the best I can. I'm trying to I'm playing for fun, but I'm not like super gambly. That's just not. It's never been my style. So like, if I want to go play, I want to play to make all the right decisions. But yeah, is
it something that you act? Cause I'm like, we don't get many people who would consider recreational players on the podcast. I'm trying to like ask these questions I got for the recreational players. I feel like there's a lot of guys like you that go to the casino, smart guys that know how to play poker, but it's not your full-time thing. So I'm like, how do these guys approach it? Because they have to know that maybe they don't have an edge, but at the same time, are they just okay?
Oh, bro, I think I have an edge.
So they think, okay, so fun players, recreational guys think they got an edge.
For sure. Playing and against like the Friday night and Saturday night crew in the 1-3 and the 2-5 NL games, like there's always going to be fun players who are more fun than me in the game, or just like very drunk. Like guy stumbles out of the club with girl on his arm, and he's gonna blow through 2 racks in the half hour before she drags him out of there. Like, I want a piece of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I approach it as competition and nostalgia. I approach it as like, I love the feel of the cards. I love thinking back to like being at Canterbury in Minnesota when I would be back in the summers, and like I was playing online, but I would also go there and play. Like, it brings back really good memories.
Do you play the great game of PLO, Mike? 4 cards instead of 2? You ever heard about this game?
I've heard about it. It kind of got hot after my time.
Oh my God.
So much action.
My God, the action's insane. You get to play every hand. It's crazy. But the no limit hold'em, it's a fair game. It's okay. Not the great game of PLO, but I'm the PLO ambassador of the world. So I try to get everybody into. I feel like I have to be the PLO ambassador of the entire world. I think that's got to be true.
How many PLO games to NL games run, like in Vegas or AC?
Well, an unfortunate, sad amount, of course, because.
But they run. I'm thinking back to being at the Borgata a couple months ago, and I don't even remember there being PLO games.
When I was there last December, I believe there was a couple. Yeah, I think there's just a handful of games during the series out in Vegas. It's probably like at Aria, there was maybe 6 or 7 PLO games.
Okay.
And maybe 18 no limit. There's much more no limit hold'em than PLO for sure. A lot of casinos don't even have PLO these days.
I'm a nit at heart, so like to jump into a game I don't really know, where I always feel like I have a good hand and feel like I literally have no edge. I just don't want to get in that situation.
Jackson said, "Are you tired of folding your 3-bets? I've got the game for you. Pot Limit Omaha." I really should make a commercial for PLO. That's a good fucking idea. I got to put that down. Jonah asks, he said, does he put any effort towards poker, like study or consume any poker content?
I consume poker content for fun. Like if I'm just really having a procrastinating, unproductive day, I'll jump on 2+2 and go like reread one of my favorite threads or something stupid. But no, I don't actively.
What are some of your favorite threads on 2+2?
Matt Moore's Another Kid, Another Dream.
Mm-hmm. People always say I should get him on the pod. I don't know much about him. I've never seen the thread.
I would listen to him on the podcast. I'm like a fanboy of him.
Interesting. Okay. I don't know much about him.
He writes well and story tells very well, and he like quit his job in Chicago, moved to Vegas, took a shot, made it happen. And I actually don't know what he's doing now. I'm pretty sure it's in poker. But I like that thread. I'm trying to think of any other specifics. Jump in like NVG and just like see what's going on. But no, maybe
my thread's always at the top of NVG somehow. It's always in the first page. It's been on the first page of NVG for the last 2.5 years somehow. So shout out to NVG for just fucking surviving them. We're almost hit 1 million views in that thread. Shout out to those guys, man. Much love to 2+2.
That's insane.
I love 2. I kind of came up in 2+2. I started off at the micro stakes playing 5 cent, 10 cent online. I did a bunch of different prop. Yeah, I did a bunch of big prop bets that got me very well known, and I played most hands in a day, in a month for PLO and no limit, and those got me notoriety. And then I started playing the high stakes and did very well at high stakes, and that got me more. And
bro, that's just grind. Like that's just pure effort.
Yeah, I always try to think like, does the work ethic go away? And before, I think it doesn't, but now it's just spaced out over like 7 things, whereas in the past it was just poker every day for fucking years. Every day, 4 or 5 years, I just played poker. That's it. Nothing. I mean, I maintain a body. I try to date women. Live in San Diego. I mean, it's like you want to date women out there, but mainly I just wanted to have success at poker. That was all I wanted to do. And then once I hit that point, you know, I've struggled with the idea of what's my motivation after that point. Cause like you have this dream and then you achieve your dream and you're like, well, okay, where do I go from here sort of thing. And I feel like now I'm just sort of like starting to find that a little bit more. And I'm trying to figure out ways to, you know, instead of just poker, now I'm spreading out my work ethic. And that's like a challenge, I guess.
I'm trying new things. Do you think that you will zero in on one or maybe like 1 or 2 things at any point in the future?
You know, I think I consider diet and working out as one thing, and I'll never like stop doing that now because I feel like it's super important as we get older. Like, you know, you say you're 29, I'm 31. Like diet's really important. It's going to make a big difference on the way you look, the way you feel. And I feel like I just have to keep focusing on that for the foreseeable future.
I 100% agree, but it doesn't require like 10, 12-hour sessions. Like that's something you can do simultaneously with, like you're never going to spend 75, 80 hours a week on fitness, right?
Depends on basketball. No, I don't think so. Even I can't play that much basketball. Dear God, yeah.
I'm afraid that you said like, does the work ethic run out? I'm afraid that it does at some point. Like I think that physiologically it's going to become harder. And I don't think it's going to be like in the next few years, but 40, 45, 50 to maintain that level of grind. And so that's part of my motivation is I don't know if it'll always be there. I don't know if I'll always be able to pour it on.
I think you can kind of look at you working with Gary. You know, you're with him for 2 years, and he appears to be the hardest working person in the entire world. So, I mean, maybe it doesn't go away. I mean, it's like, it's got to be pretty inspirational to be around a guy for 2 years and like just see that constant desire and grind to want to have. I mean, that's got to be just, I can't imagine what you took away from that. Just like, I don't know, man. Like, what was that? Like, what do you think it's like
to work that hard? I think that he has something that other people don't. Like, not another gene, but like there is something different about his brain than yours or mine. I don't think that it's a choice to just be able to have that. Like you can elevate your work ethic. It is controllable, but he doesn't stop and it's not hard for him. There's no procrastination isn't a thing because like his next meeting is the thing that he wants to be doing. Yeah.
Do you wonder if it's because like maybe he's put himself in a position where he's accountable to so many people, and maybe that's one of his drives is he feels like he's accountable to so many people. He doesn't want to let these people down, and he can kind of manifest that desire and motivation each day from that sort of point of view.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely, like, there are probably days where he would rather not get to the office at 8 o'clock, but because there's an obligation to be there, he's there. But I don't think there's any way to like hack I work pretty hard and I'm like, you know, like even me, for example, I don't think that there's a formula to have a work ethic like that. I know that's not like an inspiring response, and it's not like
I mean, that could be the true. That could be a true thing. It's like 16-hour days like every day. I mean, that's. Oof,
I know, man. I've been thinking about just like hard work in general recently, from like a weird like step back, reflect on life, like what's the point of all this kind of thing. Like it was an article, or it was a letter. Who wrote it? Hunter S. Thompson. I think I might be butchering that. We can link that up somewhere. But it's about like float or swim. And any decision you make in life, you're either swimming against the current or you're just going with the flow and enjoying things, which is interesting. I'm in Minnesota right now, which is where I grew up. So my lease in New York ended yesterday, July 31st. I flew back here a couple of days ago, spending a little time with friends and family, and then I'm going to be out on the West Coast doing some fitness things, and traveling a little bit. But 2 days ago on Saturday, I was with my high school buddies, and married, like young kids, 6-month-old babies, like very happy, very content, and like I'm genuinely very, very happy for them and seeing them like hanging out with their kids. It was really cool, but I don't want that, at least right now. Like there's just, when you talk about like floating and like being in that and like enjoying and being content versus fighting the stream and like always trying to do more and put more out and grind harder, I feel happier and better when I'm working harder. So
I am exactly 100% the same. And so Jackson said, I've never heard that metaphor. It's awesome. I've never heard that metaphor as well. And yeah, I think people like sometimes look down on people who are in the floating stage, in the content stage.
I'm jealous.
I mean, I say that too. Like where I stay at now, it's in the suburbs. Like I wish I could just like be content with living in the suburbs, having a kid, having a family. I wouldn't mind that. But I know I wouldn't be. I know I can't. Like for some reason, like that's, yeah, I just can't. I can't do it. And I sort of wish I could. And maybe one day. Do you feel like one day you could? Like 5 years, 6 years, maybe if you meet the right person, or?
Yeah, that's the story I'm at least telling. Like I definitely haven't closed my mind off to that lifestyle, but I don't see it in the near future.
So what's your plan? You said you're back in Minnesota now. You're on the West Coast. What's your plan for the next bunch of months? So you just wrapped up the training this month in July then, right?
Yeah, literally July 10th.
You better paid you a lot of money. Gee, how much, man? Jesus, two goddamn years with him, man. Oof.
Bro, the impact he had on my business was like, he jokes, he's like, you should have been paying me, is his kind of.
I mean, yeah, it's so sick, right? You just get to like have this resource of, I'm sure now you probably are friends and you could hit them up if you have a question for something.
Yeah, but the thing is, I know the answers, because it all comes back to the same principles. Like if I'm going to text him a question, I'm 98% sure I know what he's going to say, and it's just go do that thing. But yeah, I don't want to spend a winter in the cold. I've done that for 29 straight years, and I would just like to, whether it's somewhere down in Florida or somewhere like Los Angeles just has a lot of good fitness stuff. And so if I do want to go after the fitness YouTube thing, just like there are a lot of people out there that would be good to meet and spend time with and like hang out with. But yeah, somewhere warm is my plan. I have one suitcase and a carry-on, and that's all of my stuff. And so I'm in a position where I can go wherever. But right now I actually just booked a flight to Las Vegas for next week. So I'll be there for a few days and then get out to LA for a couple weeks and go from there.
I love it, man. It's so great. So go to Vegas, play some poker out there?
Yeah, play a little poker out there. And just like, and work. Like that's the thing. People are like, it was so amazing being with Gary. You got to go to all these great cities and you got to like see all these things. I was like, I got to see the inside of the hotel room in a lot of cities, hunched over my laptop, banging out emails, writing content, shooting videos. Like it's cool. I'm insanely grateful, but I just work wherever I am.
What do you think you struggle with now? What do you think one of your things that you'd like to get better at approaching or at doing? Like
in like a hobby, or like in the context of
let's say
productive?
In your career right now, maybe it's the mindset that you have about something that maybe you'd like to get a little bit better at that, or maybe you'd like to start thinking about something differently, or you'd like to start I guess maybe pursuing something in a direction you haven't been pursuing lately.
I have one. I would like to eliminate any gray area. I would like to eliminate any time where my actions don't match my intentions. Meaning, if I want to be working, if I want to be like completing a task, I want to be able to be 100% focused on that task. I don't want a blog post that would take 2 hours to take 5 because I'm watching dumb YouTube videos like literally every 20 minutes. I'm taking like a 30-minute break to fucking watch a hand that I've watched 700 times where you like 5 bets letter or like some stupid shit. Like I've already, like, stop. Focus on this one thing.
Pocket sevens, I think, right? Something like that, yeah.
No, the 8-6. Or I guess.
Oh, the 8 is that one? I mean, there's probably there's a couple. Yeah, 6 and 6. Riaz ace, yeah, and 6, yeah.
Yeah. Or like the two 10s against Barry and Pete. Like the number of times I've watched these videos is insane. Eliminate that. So then on the other side of the coin, that frees up time. If I want to be out to a dinner with friends, if I want to be like hanging out with a girl, if I want to be up with my grandpa where I'm going to be in a few weeks for his 80th birthday, like be fully engaged in that when I'm there. Don't be like emailing when I'm hanging out with my 80-year-old grandpa because I was fucking lazy and it took me too long to do this other thing because I was watching videos. Like, I don't want to say be present because that just like brings all these, which I'm okay with, but like brings a lot of like yoga and Eastern religion into the equation. But just be executing the thing I want to be executing at that time. Just eliminate any of the kind of nonsense in the middle.
That's hard, man. Oof, that's tough.
Yeah, well, you asked what I want to improve. Like I think that would help me enjoy life better.
Yeah, I find it so easy to be doing something and then you get stuck on the YouTube thing or you're on Facebook or you're on like a forum, and man, like that's like being efficient. Being efficient with time is something that, yeah, that's something that I'd like to get better at too. And I'm actively feel like I'm doing that every day, but it's
hard. Yeah, clearly, or I would not be doing it.
Do you feel like with your diet or anything like that, there's something that needs to get better or could get better? Do you feel like with you've had these habits built for so long that it's just down to a science sort of thing?
There are a few elements to it. No, I don't struggle with my own fitness at all anymore. I did from like 16 to maybe even like 23, 24, because I would try to spend too much time in a calorie deficit. I would try to get too lean. I would try to look too much like guys on magazines who are on tons of drugs and just like unachievable physiques, which would put me in a, like when you over restrict food for a long period of time, you're just more susceptible to binge eating. And so I would then I would be really hard on myself because I had 17 of my mom's chocolate chip cookies. But those, like, I have put on enough muscle since then that my total daily, the number of calories that I burn in a day is high enough where I'm lucky, meaning I don't struggle to comply with my diet because I can fit ice cream in my diet if I want to.
So how many calories are you eating a day now? Or do you try to eat?
I almost don't even want to say, because first you're going to be jealous. And second, it's going to require like a fairly big explanation. I'm in like the 4,000 to 4,500 range, and I'm trying to build muscle right now.
Jesus Christ.
So my struggle with that is actually getting enough food, which has been a very recent thing in this last like 6 to 8 months. But it's easy compared to everything else I have going on.
4,500 I mean, I like try to eat 2,000. I can't even eat much, man. I'm like, my habit's trying to get over that 2K mark. 45. I mean, I wish people could see your physique, because like, yeah, like, if you play poker, you'd probably be one of the best physiques in the poker world. I'll tell people that right now, because they can't really tell you got the white shirt on, but yeah, you're definitely looking. I mean, you kind of like the magazine guys too, bro. You gotta.
All right.
Yeah, come on.
At this point, but it depends what magazine we're talking about too. You can have guys who are just like biceps bigger than his head, or more lifestyle kind of fitness model-y physique.
Yeah, I feel like you've got more of not that super bodybuilder type, but you've got the.
Yeah, I still have abs, and like, I don't know. Am I going to back up and take my shirt off? Is that what's about?
I mean, can we do that on YouTube? Is that against terms of service? I mean, the guy, whatever. It's all men. My audience is all dudes. So, I mean, we're just showing like things off to men around here at this point in time.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like, I have abs, and I like this sort. Has this ever happened before?
You never know. I've got a massage on a podcast before. Yeah. I need those abs, kid. Can you send, I need those. Yeah.
What's up?
I need to get those abs, kid.
Everyone on the feed's probably like, what's going on in this podcast right now?
No, listen, it's about you're a professional fitness guy. If I'm an alleged professional fitness guy, I'm going to show people my goddamn physique. I want to show people what exactly it is.
I agree. I just I think I have above average genetics. It's been like the focus of my life for 12 years. I don't like to be like, I'm jacked, so you should come and learn from me because I'm jacked. Because I don't think it's realistic to sell that dream like, oh, in 6 months of my coaching, you're going to look like me. No, you're not. Like it took a long time. And so I don't like hanging my hat on my physique as much as like my knowledge or empathy or something else. I'm going to put my shirt back on.
Melissa, my girl Melissa in the chat says this podcast is good. Melissa, thank you for being the one English woman in the chat for this podcast watching live. We appreciate you tuning in and checking out the physiques on the podcast today. Yeah, I think like you think about like most people that are in shape, usually they're just looked as like these, that's all they are. They're just in shape. But I feel like with yourself, from talking with you, your intelligence and your mind is certainly something that is very strong as well. And I guess, do you feel like it's a challenge to show people that side of you, or do you feel like after people interact with you a little bit, they're able to identify that instead of looking at you as, oh, this like, guy who's just fucking, who has a great physique, but actually look at you as the kind of person that you are?
I haven't struggled with it much. Very rarely. Like Gary's marketing agency, VaynerMedia, I would hang out there a lot because I was getting him food. I was making sure he was on point. He was there. I think when I first started, I walk around in like a white t-shirt and my arms are coming out the sleeves, like that kind of thing. There were like Muscle Mike became a nickname. And I like heard some
Muscle Mike. I like that.
I like heard some like just stand there and be pretty and like offhand comments from girls, like kind of busting my balls and stuff. But I think once anyone, and I don't think I'm super smart or anything by any means, but I think if you like watch a few of my YouTube videos or read some of my blog posts, you understand that I kind of know what I'm doing at least.
No, I like that. I watched a couple of YouTube stuff. I like the trailer you took the old classic, like that classic motivational song that they have in that one video with the guy, like, you got to run through the lake. You got to swim with the sharks and stuff like that. But you took that instrumental and put it on you talking about fitness. I like that a lot. Oh,
yeah. Was that the Why Fitness Matters?
Yeah, I think that's the trailer. What is the trailer? Yeah, it's about like, I think it's something like that. I want to find out the specific. Bro, you don't know your own trailer, kid. Come on, man.
Well, no, my trailer's not motivational though. My trailer is I think Bass. I'm gonna butcher the name of the band. I don't even know it. It was the song in some Zac Efron movie that I liked the preview of. Bass Nectar.
Patience.
Oh yeah, that's the Friday Night Lights theme song.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
In that vein, a lot of people these days like to rip motivational content like as, oh, it doesn't do anything, it's not helpful. I'm a big fan. Like I consume like what you just were making fun of kind of. I like that shit.
Oh, I like it too.
Yeah, no, but there's like people hate on that because
for sure.
It's like, oh, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't, like, motivation isn't real. It doesn't exist. Like, just go execute. I love hearing that, like, you put a movie score on there from like the movie Inception, and then you hear some like pump up speech before a football game, and like I'm all riled up to go lift or work or something.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some sort of like hatred about if you say you're a life coach, or if you say you're someone who's coaching or helping someone, like it's looked at as like you're a scammer sort of thing. And
probably, I don't know probably because there are a lot of scammers who do it, like straight up people who and I don't know about the life coaching, but people who and maybe it's not scamming, but I just think when you get in like the $200, when you're selling a PDF that's a workout product for $200 and using over the top hyperbole marketing and doing all, like, that just doesn't sit super well with me.
Same. Yeah.
But yeah, the motivational stuff I'm into.
One of my favorite motivational things is this JJ Watt E60 thing. He has an E60 segment. I swear it's like he's like, it's so sick. He's just so pumped up on there, and it's like my favorite motivational piece. If anyone hasn't watched it before, I'll put a link in the description after the video. It's awesome. You cannot watch it and be like, I'm ready to go crush today. It's just so hard not to get motivated during that.
Yeah, he's a beast. Wisconsin.
He's Someone asked in a chat, was any stories happen when you were traveling with Gary and living? Was there any crazy stories or crazy things that took place?
I mean, I don't know what like their definition of crazy is. There was a recent one on this book tour. I don't know if he wants me. Yeah, so we the launch of his book. We were in St. Louis, Missouri, and he gave a talk. It was like, big party, big gathering kind of thing. There was a VIP like inner circle event after that I sat in on. He was like helping these guys in a small group with their businesses. We're out until 2:30, 3 o'clock. We get back to the hotel. We have like an hour to sleep. Me, Gary, and D-Rock, Gary's camera guy. And shout out to D-Rock, by the way. And we had our alarm set for 4 because it was a 5:30 flight from St. Louis to Atlanta. Anyway, me and D-Rock caught a little nap. I didn't sleep. I just stayed up and did emails and slammed caffeine because it's like, this doesn't make sense. And we're waiting down at the car to go to the airport. And it's a tight window. Like, we have a little drive to the airport. 4 goes by, 4:05, 4:15. He's not replying to texts. I'm like, I'm going to go get him. And so I think I knew what room he was in. I ended up banging on 2 doors. Then nothing happened with the first one, luckily. But I'm on the second one. And he just straight up like slept in, comes to the door, bloodshot eyes, like stuff everywhere. I'm like, bro, we got to go. Like, you're going to miss your flight. And so I help him get his like shit packed up. We get there, we get to the airport, and we leave. But that was a recent memory that was pretty funny.
I can't imagine, man. What a time. I mean, I guess people don't know, if they don't know much about Gary out there, they don't understand, like, it's pretty sick. It's pretty sick, like, just being around someone like that who's like the upper echelon in the entire existence of people in terms of certain qualities. Like, I just got an impact forever, a positive impact.
It really just drives in future decision making about who I spend time with and the things I'm doing. Because even if it's not this like, social media businessman work ethic titan, like the cliche entrepreneurial, the people you spend your time with are who you become, is just so real and like something that I'm very aware of. And also aware of like what I'm able to add to that group of people as well, to like lift everyone else up.
Mm-hmm. I think that makes sense a lot. That's something I've been paying attention to, actually. The people I've been having conversations with are people who, like, I get something from it, but they get something from it too. And I feel like in the past I was just neglecting that completely. And I didn't realize until maybe like 2 weeks ago how much value you get from that. You just get so pumped up, you get so excited, you get viewpoints from smart people that you may not have thought of, or just ideas. And like, that's something I actually encourage people to do, is just have conversations with people that like fire you up, or like get you going, get you passionate.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And
the same goes with having fewer conversations with people who pull you down and who have the opposite effect on you.
Yeah, that's something that I'm working at now. But it's hard. You don't want to just be like, shower him, kick him to the curb. Like
it's all contextual. Like, I'm not saying like don't ever talk to your like brother again because XYZ reason or anything like that. But just be aware of who those people are and how they're affecting you.
How do you approach women then, man? So if you travel a lot, how do
you approach them? You go ask them where the nearest Starbucks is.
No. Yes. Ask where the nearest Starbucks. That's not a bad idea. But in terms of spending time, because I mean, I meet a lot of women, but I don't feel like you're not having many like creative conversations with a lot of these women that you meet, because most of them they got careers, or they're models, and like they're I don't know, like, you can't really talk about these type of things that you're passionate about, from I found with a lot of women that I meet. So for yourself, do you find that important for you, or is that something that isn't as important for you, to have these type of conversations with women?
That's interesting. So in New York, I'm a big fan of the dating app Bumble. I think it's amazing, especially in that city where like the girl to guy ratio is nice, and there's just like a lot of cool and interesting, attractive, and like fun girls to hang out with. Like, you want to have stimulating conversations. I wouldn't say that it's something I value super highly. Like, I like someone who has a really good sense of humor. I like someone who's like honest and straightforward. I like someone who like, because I'm a little bit wound up and like type A and focused and like on work, I like someone who is kind of the opposite in that sense and likes to like relax and have a good time and like not be distracted by work stuff.
I tried. Man, that's just like, I find spending time with people like that, like women like that, is just, I get like frustrated. I'm like, man, I can't believe you're like not doing more. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it has like an impact on me too.
I mean, are we talking about like having girlfriends and like dating and looking at as like prospective monogamous partners for life, or are we talking about like date for a few months and see where it goes?
That one, yeah, that's my option of choice. I like that one better than the first one.
I've like hung out with some female entrepreneur hustlers who I really liked too. Yeah,
I need to meet some more of them, man. That's those. I haven't met that type of woman yet. So I haven't got my demo of women I've been meeting.
Maybe it's the Chicago suburbs.
Maybe it's poker. All the girls in poker. Jesus, I mean, fuck, man. I try to stay. You met any girls in poker?
Like if I like dated girls in poker?
Yeah, have you ever dated a girl in poker before?
I don't think so. I'm trying to think. Not recently. No, I haven't.
Me either.
I don't think I'm good enough. They're like, this guy sucks.
Well, to be fair,
this guy's a fish. I want to date him.
To be fair, I can't say that the feminists are going to get upset. Let's get some questions from the chat, guys. Who we got? We got some. What the fuck is with some of you guys in the chat today? He's saying the weirdest things ever. Like, what about Shia LaBeouf? What are you talking about, Miguel? What is?
He's probably talking about the Shia LaBeouf motivational.
Oh, that video.
Yeah, that was a little out there.
Okay.
I'm more of like a Joe Rogan and Brian Callen conversation with a movie score over the top of it, like getting me ready for a set of deadlifts or something.
I love deadlifts. That's one of so I've been using the hexagon deadlift bar only. Yeah. I don't use the straight bar. Do you think that's good or bad?
Neither. I'm cool with it. Your upper back is going to be in a more vertical position, so you're likely going to be working more quads and less butt and hamstrings. If you've had lower back issues, like pulling from a position where your lumbar spine, the lower half of your back, is in a more vertical position, more perpendicular to the ground, is marginally going to prevent back injury or like back soreness. But yeah, I'm not a Nazi about any specific things in fitness or nutrition. I think that. Are you trying to get stronger? Are you doing multi-joint movements? Are you pretty consistently going to the gym and like working hard at those movements? Great. Keep going.
Can I show you my deadlift form real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, good. I'm excited. Like, I don't get that. I've been. Oh, I hear echo. I've been wondering about this for a bit. So. Whoa. You have your headphones still in?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a little bit of lag, I think, from something on the Wi-Fi lagged. Hold on, let me see this.
Do you have a trap bar there?
No, I do not.
Oh.
Let's use. Let's pretend the guitar is a deadlift.
All right.
What's the best way to do this here? So it's like I kind of go like.
You gotta lower your camera so I can see more. We're very sorry to anyone on iTunes, by the way. This will be quick.
If you're on iTunes, I apologize. So you can't see this. All right, let's see. Can you see my feet? No?
Yep. No, that was enough. I can see like your shins.
Yeah. All right, so it's kind of like something like that kind of thing.
Okay, so go to your starting position to begin. Okay. It's really hard to do this without weight, but so you're gonna start by picking it up off the ground, right? So go down and pause. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not bad. You could start with your hips a little bit higher.
Oh, so you would have not so crunched down, squat down.
Not as squatted down. Your upper body's going to lean a little bit forward, and your knees are going to bend a little bit less. Yeah, and then like with a trap bar, your hands are still going to be directly by your side, which you can't do with there. Take a big breath before each rep. Engage your abs.
So interesting. So I should keep my knees up a little bit higher.
I'm not necessarily saying you should, like based on how this looks right now, I would probably start you with your hips a little bit higher in the gym and see how that looked? Do you have like, is there anything weird about your deadlift? Are you not getting stronger? Do you have any pain?
No, it always feels pretty good. I don't really have any pain, and it feels like it works out pretty well. But I wasn't sure if I had the optimal.
Take a form video and email me.
Cool.
Anyone watching who wants deadlift help, and only deadlift, no other moves. If you email me your deadlift, I'll give you form feedback.
I nominate this for the most erotic podcast. Listen, I did the podcast, Jackson. I was getting a massage from a woman during the podcast. How can that be more erotic than two men having a conversation about deadlift form and one taking his shirt off? It can't be.
You were getting a massage during a podcast?
Yeah, I got a table massage. Yeah, she gave poker massages, so we did a podcast together and we talked about what it's like to be a massage woman.
Got it. Okay. I thought you meant like you were doing a podcast and you had a massage therapist massaging you throughout the podcast.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
And you were interviewing her while she did it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Listen, you gotta mix it up, kid. You can't bring in the same type of content every time. You gotta be a little balanced, man.
Keep them on their toes. I agree.
Be a little balanced. Whew, now I'm on mute. Looks like Joey's farting. Jesus Christ, man. Come on. Guys, take a couple more questions in the chat. Squeeze that booty. I know I do need to squeeze the booty. That's actually a fact.
At the top. Yeah. Well done, whoever said that.
If people were interested in working, checking you out, you got the website On the Regimen, you got your YouTube channel, Mike Vacanti. Is there anything people, if they want to get something, if they want some are you doing anything right now?
I think consume my content, and my goal is always to put enough free stuff out there that you can make really good progress simply by following me. My website, ontheregimen.com, or if you just Google my name, that will come up, is probably the best place with the most comprehensive information. But yeah, I'm also on YouTube, Snapchat I'm big on, which is less information and more just kind of day in the life type stuff.
What's your Snapchat? I'll add you on there. I'll put you on mine and get some more.
Let's go. At Mike Vacanti.
All right, cool. Let's pull this up here.
And I try to keep up with my snaps. Let's actually get this on my story. I try to keep up with my snaps, replying to everyone to the best of my abilities.
All right, I'm going to tell people follow you on Snapchat.
I love it.
Guys on Snapchat, we're currently podcasting now. Yeah, talk with Mike Vacanti, fitness extraordinaire. Follow him on Snapchat at Mike Vacanti. Easy. But bam. I kind of like Snapchat now. Although a lot of people I follow, I feel like they're boring as fuck and I don't really want to follow them, but I don't want to block them as well. So it's kind of like a weird spot I'm in now.
Just don't consume all of your stories.
Oh, I don't. I never consume it. I have like 5 people I enjoy watching on the story part of Snapchat.
Yeah. Go pick them out and watch those. Yeah. I'm kind of the same way.
Oh, this is a great question. Tommy Guns, thoughts on pre-workouts and possible dependency? That's a great question.
Pre-workouts are crack. So dependency is real.
So you think people...
I'm joking. So for those who don't know, a pre-workout, it's not actually crack, but like pre-workouts are primarily, like, a lot of them just have a lot of caffeine and other ingredients like increase alertness, which are beneficial to muscle endurance during a workout. But like getting dependent on caffeine, it can happen on a pre-workout. There's physiological dependence and there's psychological dependence. There is absolutely psychological dependence on pre-workouts, because if you've been strength training for a while and never used one, and then you do use one, you're just going to notice that uptake in energy, in mood during your workout. You're going to feel better. I personally use Mike Matthews Legion athletic supplements, and again, no affiliate stuff, no sponsorships, but it's just the best. He puts good ingredients in his products and takes lower margin on every sale, because he wants it to be like in everything, in his whey protein, everything, like the supplements that actually help. Whereas so many companies use either less than the effective dosage of the ingredients that can help you, but they're putting, like, if the effective dosage is 5 grams of beta alanine, they're only putting 0.5 gram in there. Back to the original question though, I think it makes sense to cycle off of pre-workout like to the extent that you can. So maybe every 8 weeks, if you go a week without having pre-workout and like continue to train, I think that probably makes a lot of sense.
I found that with the I take the amino energy usually, and I found that it really helps me when I'm tired throughout the day as well too. And sometimes to a point where I might take it a little too often, like just throughout the day if I want some energy and I feel tired.
My only, I don't know the exact ingredients in there, but one thing I look for in things like amino energy and things like BCAAs and things like pre-workout are the artificial sweeteners, and just is there a ton of sucralose, and am I taking like a lot of that? Just because we don't really know the long-term implications of artificial sweeteners on health. There isn't evidence to say like you are getting cancer and you are going to die from this, but on the other side, we haven't had them in our, it's like, oh, that would suck. We haven't had them in our diets long enough to know the long-term downside. So that's something to look out for.
Well, I better check mine. Yeah, I feel like
bust them out. How many times are you you're taking it once a day on average?
I feel like, well, I've been working out a lot more lately, and since I got back from Vegas for the World Series of Poker. But I feel like before that, I would take it when I wanted energy. Like I would be tired and I would just take a scoop and a half or 2 scoops of it.
Like 3 times a day?
No, just usually 1 time a day.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure if that's like, it seems like it was almost turning into a dependency, whereas like even coffee's a dependency for some people. I don't really drink coffee. This was kind of like my thing I was take.
Yeah, I don't know the ingredients in amino energy. You want me to look them up?
Let me just get my thing. Hold on.
Oh, all right.
I'll give you a question from the chat while we go here.
Okay.
What's his feeling on steroids?
My feeling on steroids is, so I'm pretty libertarian at heart. I'm pretty I don't love government involvement in my life. I think they should be legal. I really, really dislike that, not so many people, just that there are people who take drugs, lie about taking drugs, and even that's okay. I'm okay with taking drugs and lying about it because for whatever reason, but if that person is also selling something, then you're effectively saying you can get these results, work with me, but lying about taking drugs or buy these supplements, these will help you get my physique, and not disclosing that they're taking things. That's my issue with steroids in the fitness industry right now. But yeah, I have some pretty outlandish views on government involvement and what should and shouldn't be legal. And so I think those are definitely, along with weed, along with other drugs and I don't even smoke. I just think that people should have the option to. I don't like laws that protect us from ourselves.
I feel you on that. I agree about the drug part for sure. Let's see here. This is the one I have right here.
Yep. All right, so let's go right up on this. Can I see this?
Which part do you want to see? The amino blend, the supplement thing? Can we see if we can get it in there?
Focus. If you leave it there, it should. Actually, back up a little bit. Zoom it in.
Is it focusing at all?
No.
Focus. Autofocus on. Let's try this.
Oh, natural and artificial flavor. All right, citrus and malate. So this, yeah. So where you see amino blend in the middle of the screen under total carbohydrates, guys, I don't like, it's called a proprietary blend, which means we are going to list the aggregate. The sum of all of these ingredients is 5 grams. We know that the order of those ingredients is in the order of dosage from high to low, but we don't know how much of each of those things are in there. We don't know if there's an effective dosage of those things. L-leucine is the 4th ingredient, and that's the most important amino acid for not actually increasing muscle protein synthesis, but reducing muscle protein degradation, which you probably don't need to know. But beta-alanine, the 5th ingredient on there, you should have 4.8 or more grams of beta-alanine in a drink for the positive impact on your training performance. There's 5 grams in the sum of all of those things. So there's max 0.5 gram of beta-alanine in there.
Oh no.
Really, I just, You're like, shit.
What do I order? I need a new product now. Fuck, man.
And back up. I'm kind of being a hypocrite because I'm being a little bit perfectionistic. I just bought C4, which also uses a proprietary blend. Like, I know how much caffeine is in there, but I use it because I like the taste and I like to mix it up and take it from time to time. But yeah, like, we just don't, like, we don't know. People haven't been taking those ingredients every single day for their entire lives. Like, that's never happened. So we don't know. And I don't like fearing the unknown, but at the same time, I'm a fan of moderation in situations like these. That's how I answer, like, is diet soda good or bad? Well, are you having like a can or maybe 2 cans a week, or are you having 6 cans a day to suppress your appetite? Because one is probably okay and one might be okay, but you might end up like, we might end up finding out down the road that having that much aspartame is going to hurt you.
It's kind of how I feel about like Adderall and Vyvanse and ADHD drugs, is that I don't think they, like, we don't know the long-term effects of these things. And
and we're just like feeding kids with that shit.
Or myself sometimes. Yeah. So
but are you taking 20 or 30 milligrams? I mean, and maybe I'm wrong and whatever, like, are you taking 20 or 30 milligrams every single day?
not every single day, no.
But like when you want it.
When I want to, yeah. Yeah. And I think I actually have it, but I don't know. You don't know the long-term effects. I don't know.
You have ADHD. Yeah. 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 I mean, it's very different too when you're talking about like using in moderation. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. All I know is like my experience.
We're speculating around here, Mike. We're professional speculators right now, man.
I think that forcing a 7-year-old to take these drugs, because not in every situation, but in many situations, parents don't want to parent and they would rather like chill the kid out. Teachers don't want to teach, like that kind of thing. In many situations, not in all. That's very, very different than a 31-year-old hustler, entrepreneur, grinder who's like, I want an edge. I want to take this from time to time so I can crush work for 12 hours, or so I can play 50,000 hands in a day and like set world records. What's up?
Somehow I used to do that without drugs. I don't even know how it's possible, but I was all hard then, man.
When I saw the end of that video, I was like, I wonder, like, was he on anything? Good for him.
Those people said, like, did you do drugs when you played the prop bets? I'm like, man, I was just motivated. That was all hunger right there.
It was all heart.
Yeah, that was definitely all heart. And then then I got older and David says, Joey, reading one of the best books I ever read because of last podcast, The Placebo Effect. Awesome.
I haven't read that.
Oh yeah, what's who was it? Did Doug or was it Noah Schwartz? I think Noah Schwartz recommended that one. Yeah, guys, we'll take 1 or 2 more questions and then we'll wrap things up here. Let's see what else.
Was it Doug or no, was it one of the great poker players who isn't this guy?
Come on, kid. Don't sell yourself short. There's more to life than just being fucking good at poker.
I know. I'm extremely honored and I'm just happy to be on here. Like seeing, like Negreanu and like the sports betting basketball dude and all those guys. It's cool. It feels good.
Like I said, man, I appreciate you coming out. You're my first crossover, man. Like a crossover guy who's doing some cool stuff in other industries, and like that's kind of the people I want to talk more to. Like I want to talk more to people like you, dude. Like have this story that no one else really has. Like took this crazy chance on yourself and believed in yourself and really hustled hard, worked hard, took advantage of opportunities that you had, and now you're potentially able to set yourself up to be your own boss for a long period of time. So it's like that's cool. I mean,
thank you. Seriously.
Someone said in the chat, not everyone's meant to work for themselves, and I agree with that. But I don't want to work for somebody else. I mean, yeah. But I understand that not everyone's cut out to work for themselves, for sure. It's tough.
Yeah, it is. And it kind of goes back to the why did I quit in the beginning? Like I wish I would have been content in that situation. I don't know why I wasn't content in that situation, but I wasn't.
Is this guy serious? I'd really like his recommendation on my mixed Coke and Red Bull working out habit. He said it a couple times. He literally might be telling the truth. I don't know. I'm sure that's bad.
Wait, like Coca-Cola or like cocaine?
I feel like this is good. He asked it twice. I'm going to go with Coca-Cola But let's answer both. What do you think?
I think the cocaine's a bad. I think that's a recipe for like a heart attack during a workout. I mean, it's kind of absurd because I have a hard time recommending like drink all this high fructose corn syrup and like even if it's sugar-free Red Bull and like these artificial sweeteners, and there actually isn't that much caffeine. So in his defense, someone hears that, they're going to be like, you're going to have a heart attack from all that caffeine. One of those normal small cans of Red Bull, it's like there's two sizes. One of them's 80 milligrams and one of them's 160 milligrams of caffeine. Okay. A can of Coke is 38 milligrams of caffeine, give or take a couple. Do you know how many grams or milligrams in a large coffee at Starbucks?
I don't think honestly, I don't think I want to know, but just tell me how
420. So like,
crazy.
yeah. And there's obviously ingredients other than caffeine. It's probably not a good idea, but if you need some carbs and some caffeine before a workout, I get some protein in there too. He asked twice. He must be serious. From time to time.
I can't believe that coffee is looked at as this is like, I can't believe coffee is looked at socially acceptable. The norm is for people to wake up and have a coffee or have two coffees. Like people can't function without coffee, and no one sees this as like a bad thing. It seems like people see this as just normal and standard, and I'm amazed by that. I don't see any discussion about this being completely kind of insane.
It's weird what we as a society become okay with versus the things we don't. Like alcohol, cigarettes, very readily available all over. Marijuana, illegal, and like a large percentage of people would probably say immoral and unethical. It just doesn't make a ton of sense.
Yeah. Coffee, man. Starbucks is so overrated. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's pretty good. So, Mike, anything else you want to add, man? Anything else you'd like to, you want to talk about? Anything you want to say? Anything you want to ask? Anything at all?
I don't like generally on podcasts. I like to give like a little motivationally like life pump up talk here, but I can't pretend to know people's situations well enough to give real concrete advice. And with that, no, like if you want help with fitness stuff, shoot me an email. I try to get to all my Snapchats, but I can't always, but shoot me an email and I'll try to link you in the right place or like get your questions answered. Because that's where I do really know my stuff. But yeah, the poker transition, because I feel like I remember being in a situation where I liked playing but didn't want to play forever. And I think it's just about like being open to opportunities and looking for the white space. And like 2004 online poker versus 2016 online poker is like, it's just insane. They're not even the same thing. And just like recognizing that and like trying to pick up on patterns and places where opportunity exists in other industries is big. And I really do believe that like, no, not everyone's going to be, no one's going to like, or very few will be Gary Vaynerchuk, but you can control your outcome based on your work ethic. Like just because you can't be number one at something doesn't mean you can't be really happy and really successful at that thing. So I just think hard work's underrated, and super honored you had me on here. It's fun. I was shirtless for a while.
I know, man. We appreciate you taking off your shirt, man. That was you get to show people the physique a little bit here. Well, so you're if they want to email, you mentioned email. Is it Mike Vacanti at On the Regimen, or what's the email?
It's Michael Vacanti at gmail.com.
Michael Vacanti at gmail.com. Last question real quick, because he asked this a couple times. Can you ask, hey Poppy, can you ask Mike about personal trainers? Like for how long should I have one and how to find one? It's actually a good question. So that'll be the last one.
It's a really good question. I would, because there are a lot of trainers in commercial gyms who just aren't very good. Like it doesn't take a lot to get certified and get in there. I would try to go based on a recommendation of someone in that area, like in that city, who knows of someone or someone like in the industry who you know. How long to use one? I really think like there's so much good information online. I think a few sessions with the trainer combined with even like 2+2 H&F has good stuff in there. And like Mark Ripto starting strength, just like getting comfortable working with barbells, watching YouTube form videos. Like the market reacts really well to stuff. If a form video has like equal likes and dislikes, it's probably not great. If a form video has 5,000 likes and like 30 thumbs down, that's probably a good how to deadlift form video. Like put in a few hours, watch those things, take videos of yourself. Like there are online communities that are free where you can post videos of yourself. So anywhere between 0 and 12 to 16 sessions with a personal trainer, unless you really like the accountability of it, then it becomes different. But just for learning technique, you know, I think 2 to 6 months is a good range.
Hopefully I answered the question. I feel like there's no easy way to find a personal trainer out there if people want. I mean, I guess you go to your local gym, but besides that, there's no like, maybe there's an app or maybe there's something. I don't know about it though. I'll wrap it up. Trolley says, shout out to Mike. I'm a poker player and I follow Mike for fitness. Yeah, guys, follow him on Twitter. It's at Mike Vacanti. You want to get some fitness, anything related to fitness, man. I'm just excited for the fitness things because I'm trying to learn more about fitness, and that's going to be a personal thing I'm working at over the next 12 years of my life is fitness. So I'm ready to be on the grind. So I look forward to seeing what you do, man. I look forward to seeing how things go with the business, and I look forward to getting you back on the pod at some point in time, man. Get a little update on how life's going with you, man.
I'd love to. This was really fun. Thank you for having me.
No problem, man. Guys in the chat, appreciate all the comments, all the questions. My buddy Jonah, thank you for putting us in touch, man. I'll be back on Wednesday with Bill Perkins at 6 p.m. Paris time. I'm pretty sure that's like 11 a.m. Oh, fuck, that's early as shit. 11 a.m. U.S. time, Eastern Standard Time. So I'm going to be, holy crap. I don't know. I'm going to wake up for that. All right, guys, that's it. We're out. Peace out. Much
See you
love.
guys.
See you guys later.